Thank you so much for being a part of the show this far. And in case you're just joining us at 35 minutes past the hour, thank you for your company and your time right here on KBC Channel 1. My name is Samuel Njoroge, and this is the only way to start your day. Good morning, Kenya. As we had promised you earlier, beginning now, we will be having a conversation with Dr. Wilfred Marube. He is the CEO of the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, an institution that has been in existence for the last 1 year. Government, in her wisdom, decided to put this institution in place for reasons that we shall be understanding today, also focusing on the success of this particular institution this far and what are those issues that we can expect this institution to be handling on your behalf moving forward. Daktari, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Sam.
All right, and maybe you can begin by telling us what the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency is all about.
Thanks, Sam, and good morning, viewers. The Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency emerged out of a merger of two previous institutions which had different mandates. The first one was the Export Promotion Council, whose mandate was to promote Kenyan exports and seek markets for her products. And then the other agency was the Brand Kenya Board, whose main mandate was to promote Kenya as a country, both internally and externally. So last year, these two institutions were merged to form what you call the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, so as to create the synergy between these two various mandates with now a single mandate, whose mandate basically, if I was to simplify it, is to positively brand and position Kenyan exports and also seek their markets, and also to positively also to brand Kenya as a country, both internally and externally. So that's a single mandate.
So now this agency is an amalgamation of what you've just said and Brand Kenya?
Yes, Sam. Yes, it is.
You're one big happy institution.
We now be one big happy institution with a single mandate.
Nice. And over the last 1 year of your existence, what exactly have you been able to achieve this far?
Let's say that, as I said earlier, this particular organization came into being in August last year. So as any other organization, what is very important is basically setting the plan on what needs to be achieved within a 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year period. And we need to be aware that this particular, so this institution set out to have what you call an institutional strategic plan.
All right.
Whose, if you would allow me.
And Dr. just allow me to interject at that point as we take a look at some technical hitches. But yes, we are engaging Dr. Wilfred Marube. He is the CEO of the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. It is that institution that is supposed to position Kenya positively in light of our global image, making sure that our agenda and promotion of our goods and services is well enhanced. And he's back with us. Daktari, kindly carry on.
Okay, thank you. So when you look at the vision of this organization, is we want to make Kenya a top global brand. That is the vision which this organization has set out. Just as I articulate the success, we start by the vision. And our mission is basically to brand Kenya, export Kenyan, and then build Kenya. If I were just to share a little bit more information, when you talk about brand Kenya, we're talking about Kenya as a country and the export products, and that is goods and services that Kenya provides. So that is basically our role, is to ensure that we positively present and project Kenya as a country, our goods and our services as a source of very high quality goods and also high quality services. So when we talk about export Kenyan, it's basically we're trying to say and encourage everybody who thinks that they have a potential to export, that we can facilitate, we can support them, we can equip them with the skills about the market and knowledge so that they're able to export. And then at the end of the day, we're answering the question, why? Why should we brand the country? Why should we export products? It's because we want to build the Kenya. We want to build Kenya. We want to grow the economy. We want to create jobs.
Yeah.
We want to bring in innovations. We want to have better lives for our people. So that basically is our mission.
Yeah.
And then, if you would allow me, then as part of the success, because I'm talking from a high level first, from the planning point of view, is that we are guided by about 4 key strategic objectives, or strategies, so to speak. So the first strategy is to develop products, diversify our export products, and then brand the export products. So that's our first strategy. That is develop, diversify, and brand export products. So that's the first strategy for the organization, which we have laid out for the last 1 year, and we're already implementing. Then the second strategy is we need to diversify, we need to develop and diversify our export markets. I'll be able to talk about that later.
Yeah.
And then the third one is also we need to positively project the image and reputation of Kenya. So those are the 3, there are 4, but those are the 3 broad strategies that we may want to talk about. So for the last 1 year, we've already set the direction on what we want to do. We've sorted the resources, we have the people, so now we are in the implementation phase of that.
Nice. If you've gotten to the implementation phase, I mean, you can share with us some of the programs that you'll be rolling out to ensure that you articulate these strategies and vision that you have for this particular institution, Dr. Tari.
Okay, thanks, Sam. But before probably I lay out the program that you want, maybe some of the programs, we need to say what the challenge is, what challenge is facing the Kenyan export markets. So one of the challenges that we have a narrow, what we may call a narrow basket of exportable products from Kenya. That's one of the challenges that we have. That's the products that we were able, and the goods that we were exporting from the 80s, 90s and 2000s are still the same. So that means if there's a bit of disruption in the export market, then that means that our exports products get a challenge in getting the market access. The other area is that there are market access challenges. Some of these markets, bearing in mind that Kenya is an agri-based economy, that most of our exports are basically derived from agriculture, is that for them to access their markets, destination markets, they need to meet certain requirements. And some of these requirements probably are on the level of probably what we call the maximum residue levels, that's of pesticides. We're talking about pests, whether there could be presence of pests within the vegetables, within our flowers, because we're talking about an agri-based economy. So those are some of the challenges, so that you're able to understand the programs we're going to lay out. And again, part of the third challenge is that we also have a very narrow range of destination markets. We have our traditional markets. Kenya has very traditional markets. We're talking about Pakistan, UK, United Arab Emirates, Netherlands, Uganda. So these are traditional markets. And again, the challenge is that if you have traditional markets and there's competition, then you have nowhere else to take your exportable goods and services. And then the other area, probably the challenge we have, is that we've not really explored and tried to diversify our products and moving away from tangible goods to services. So based on those challenges, we've come up with a few programs. So part of the program that we have is what we call the product development program, whose main focus is to talk to the exporters. We're saying that we're an agri-based economy, and then one of the things that we need to support them is to how do they get the market access.
Let me interject, and we talk about that. We are an agri-based economy, and when you look at sectors like tea, for example, there has been a complaint that we are over-relying on traditional markets and we are not diversifying our products per se. How do you intend to engage the farmer? How do you intend to engage stakeholders within various sectors to ensure that we improve on our product that we position globally?
Okay, thank you, Sam, for that. So part of the approach is two-pronged. The first approach is on product development. We're talking about tea. The question is that we have our normal black tea that we are producing and which is ordinarily sold in bulk. But we're encouraging, and already we are working with the Tea Directorate, on encouraging producers to come up with specialty teas. These are teas which are beyond the normal. For instance, we have purple tea. We have white tea. So that this tea is able to be packaged, is branded, and then is exported to the destination market directly, not through the tea auction. Remember, most of our tea is sold in bulk. What we are saying is that we're not saying that selling tea in bulk is a bad thing. Still, that's a good idea. But we need to also diversify on how we sell our tea, where we sell it, how we package it, and how we brand it. And already we are working with some tea factories on that.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So, the irony has been that we produce the raw materials and at times even a product, and then it is exported to another country. There is value addition, and then it's brought back to us and we buy. How do you intend to balance that equation to ensure that we also benefit from the products that other countries add value to?
As an agency, our role is very clear. We have a research department that does a lot of research on market, on what are the market activities, what are the market requirements. So you start from the market coming backwards. For instance, theoretically, let's ask ourselves, what kind of tea would the Chinese market perhaps want? And then we work backwards so that we're able to build the capacity, number one, of our producers. And remember, we work with producers because we do not have the capacity to engage every individual farmer, but we work through association and everything else. Okay. And then we build their capacity and tell them, in these markets, there is a possibility of this, there's a high demand, or there is a demand for this particular tea, and these are the logistical or probably plans that you can be able to put in place on how to access the market. And then we support them, especially the private. We have what we call the micro and small and medium enterprises. So in the tea export, we support them brand the tea. By branding, I mean the packaging, so that it looks attractive. But apart from that, we provide with market intelligence, so that they're able to now understand where do they get their tea to, how do they get to the market. Going forward, right now, within this particular year, we're asking ourselves, how do we support such suppliers get into the retail system? For instance, if we have the largest retail system in China, how do we ensure that our packed and branded tea, which of course is focusing on the Chinese market, for instance, is able to be supplied just to the retail system, so that the mass market or the mass buyers, that is the consumer, can just walk into a shelf and then get the tea. Part of how you are doing it is also we have what you call the mark of identity. That is the made in Kenya or the grown in Kenya mark, which is supposed to make that tea easily identifiable, bearing that in mind that Kenyan tea is of high quality. It's actually, right now, the current Prime Minister for the UK has given an endorsement for the Kenyan tea. I think you've seen that clip before.
It's true.
Yes, that Kenyan tea of high quality. The question is, how do people identify Kenyan tea in the destination market?
It is said that they serve it to
Yes, but to answer your question, our job is to get the market, help producers brand the tea, and then at the end of the day, we are also going to help them market the tea in the destination markets. Those are some of the plans we have this financial year.
And this is, you're not only doing that for tea, you're also engaging other sectors in as far as that is concerned, right?
Yes, thanks, Sam. Yes, other sectors as well.
Nice, because we had His Excellency the President earlier this year when he was announcing the economic recovery strategy for the Jubilee government, where he still called on the promotion of local products, both within the country, regionally, and beyond. What are some of the strategies that you've laid in place to ensure that you articulate this particular agenda?
Thanks, Sam. And going back to our mandate, remember our mission is to brand Kenya, buy Kenyan, and build Kenya, which speaks actually to the Buy, Build Kenya initiative. So one of the programs that we are supporting is to identify high-quality Kenyan products which are for local consumption. And then we're able to give them what you call the mark of identity. That is the Made in Kenya mark or the Grown in Kenya mark. So that's what we've been able to do. But then the other thing that we're doing is understanding that when we talk about Buy Kenya, Build Kenya, doesn't mean that you have to buy Kenya, build Kenya within the Kenyan boundaries. We have a lot of Kenyans in the diaspora. So we're talking about these high-quality products that are being consumed internally. How do we support the same products also to reach the export markets where Kenyans can also consume? They can buy them, and by so doing, they also be building Kenya. So that essentially, even by the Kenyans in the diaspora and outside the country, when they're able to consume Kenyan products, then we have that ripple effect because they become the ambassadors for the Kenyan products. So as an agency, we've taken that seriously, and in a few weeks' time, we'll be rolling out a major campaign on Buy Kenya, Build Kenya. And one of the things we'll be doing is to reinforce that Kenyan products are high quality. Kenyans will not just buy something because it's made in Kenya. Because we are buying Kenya because we know that Kenyan products are world class, they're high quality, and they're in high demand everywhere. So this is something that we'll be doing so as we're able to support that particular initiative.
Nice. In terms of time, we also need to appreciate context and the operationalization of your mandate directly right now has to be affected in one way or another by COVID-19. How have you realigned to make sure that the export and promotion mandate that you have is not entirely compromised by the looming pandemic?
Thanks for that question, Sam. Like most other organizations, the COVID-19 has made us to reimagine and refocus and review our approach to export markets. The previous approach was a face-to-face over-reliance on physical exports and exhibitions and everything else. But when COVID-19 happened, the global logistical networks basically were disrupted. It became a little bit difficult even to deliver goods to the export markets. Some of our traditional markets were not available and they were never open. So our goods, basically our producers never got to sell the goods. But we're also aware that within this particular period, we also saw opportunities. For instance, within the horticulture and floriculture sector, whereby because through the efforts of the Kenya Airways, we were able to convert the passenger planes into cargo, so that we're able to deliver our produce both to the UK, to the EU, and also to the UAE. So we saw that within this particular pandemic period, also there was smile on the horticulture and floriculture industry. But also your question is to say this. It's telling us that, number one, we need to get new markets. That is very key, because some of our traditional markets were disrupted because of the supply chain. So as an agency, we've had to reseek and reorient ourselves to getting new markets, especially within Africa. Yeah. And then the other aspect is on technology. We've realized that for you to have an expo, you don't have to travel. For instance, about a week, 2 weeks ago, we had what we call the Mark Fruit Expo, which was a digital expo among the horticulture industry. Ideally, the team would have gone to Spain for that expo, but they were able to do it from the comfortable space of our Anniversary Towers offices. We facilitated Kenyan exporters of fresh produce to basically show their produce. They were able to demonstrate it. They were able to get B2B engagements, and some of them got orders. We may not be able to know the value of the orders right now because they are yet to be completed, but they were able to participate in that particular trade. So what we are saying is that we'll see an increasing use of technology. And as an agency, what we are saying is that we're going to subscribe to these platforms, which the digital platforms, whereby Kenyan producers and exporters can be able to basically place their products there, so that they are promoted, which we are going to do as an agency on behalf of the exporters. In the next few weeks, also we'll be rolling that one out.
I like the fact that you make reference to the horticulture sector, because flower farms have been adversely affected by this pandemic in terms of even growing them locally and the markets abroad. How is your institution able to make sure that you're cushioning the country and flower farms from the adverse effects of this?
As I told you, there are two challenges facing the horticulture sector. First one is market access. So our role is to work together with the flower industry. We have the Kenya Flower Council, and we have what you call the FPIC, that's Fresh Producers Association, Exporters Association of Kenya, and we have the Consortium of Fresh Produce Exporters. So we have a conversation with them together with KEFIS, which is a government agency. And one of the areas we are working on is market access. Actually, the biggest danger to these products is accessibility, especially to our priority markets, that is the EU. And we rolling out a capacity building program so that our producers will be able, that's a joint activity, to understand on how do they overcome some of the pests which are making it a challenge for our flowers and our vegetables to get into the EU and UK markets. We also, the second thing that we want to do is also, we are seeking and diversifying into new markets. As a matter of fact, at the end of this month, we're going to have a brief retreat between the flour industry and the fresh produce with us as Kenya Export Promotion Branding Agency to come up with a short-term integrated marketing communication campaign, which we are going to run now as we get into the new markets. And we're going to focus on 3 markets. That's the Middle East, that will be the UK, and again, that will be also the EU. So those are the 3 markets because they are very key and the highest consumer, even as we seek other markets. So nice. Already the statement I want to say that we are working together with the associations because as an agency, we appreciate that we don't have any products or services. Our job is to facilitate. We get information on the market, we support the exporters to market their products and services, and then we also support the exporters in overcoming what we call the non-trade barriers, like the market access. Okay. So we are on course on that.
Nice. So when it comes to branding and promotion, Daktari, you know, issues to do with placement are very key. Talking about billboards, advertising, and making sure that the agenda is out there. In as far as placement of the Kenyan product internationally is concerned, what mediums are you considering, or what media are you considering to ensure that you promote our agenda and our product out there within the global front?
Yes, just to respond to your question is that as an agency, we understand that we are meant to be very strategic in terms of our positioning, because I say that our job is to position our Kenyan exports, that's goods and services, and also the country. So what we are doing is that we are developing a 3-year integrated marketing communication strategy, and we've invited for requests for proposals actually, which are closing today. So in the next probably a month or 2, we are going to have now an integrated marketing communication strategy. Bring all the players in the export sector, so that, as we say, we go hunting as a pack. Yeah. So that's from a broader level. But if I'm able to probably anticipate some of the approaches we expect, the question we would ask ourselves, what particular platforms exist at the moment that we can be able to exploit in terms of placement or positioning of our products and our country? We have our commercial attaches. Just a week ago, we had a virtual engagement whereby I made a presentation to commercial attaches who are being deployed to some countries. And the point we are saying is that they are our first line of, they are our first line of marketers. So we want to work together with our commercial attaches. We're going to work together with our foreign missions. And then we also have a pool of Kenyans in the diaspora, who, for me, if you ask me, probably could easily get distributorship opportunities. These opportunities for Kenyans in the diaspora to have jobs, to make money. So those are some of the ideas we're exploring. But as I told you, the bigger thing for us is that we are going to have that strategy, and once we have it and we roll it out to bring all the players on board, then I believe we'll be able to promote both the country and our export products and services.
Okay, so in 1 year from this discussion, Daktari, what should we hold you what should we hold you to account for in terms of delivery of your mandate?
Okay, one thing I'll tell you is that within the local and global space, we are going to see a lot of information about Kenyan exports. You're going to see a lot of marketing, both within the country and outside the country, activities on exports. We are going to have more exporters, especially the micro, small, and medium enterprises, joining the exporters pool. And then the other thing is that you're also going to see an increase in exports products, especially new products into new markets. So you can hold that to account in the next 1 year.
Nice. So that is Dr. Wilfred Marube. You said that the call-in
basically it's closing today. Actually, it's closing today.
So I can't apply.
But I believe you can be able to use your role as an opinion leader to be able to shape this conversation. You'll be part and parcel of it.
That we shall do, Daktari, and thank you so much for your time coming through and talking to us about the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. It has been in existence for 1 year. It basically amalgamated the role of Brand Kenya and expanding it a bit to ensure that as a Kenyan, your product and services are appreciated and become of value to the local, regional, and international market. Daktari, we wish you all the best in both your present and future endeavors. So at that point, we're taking a break. Eye on Politics is coming up next, and we shall be discussing the political intrigues that have been happening in the country within the course of the previous 7 days. Keep us company. My name is Samuel Njoroge. Good morning See you in a few.